Hey there, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. This is, of course, our workshop number 6. We're going to talk about trading psychology. Just want to make sure that the sound's coming through okay and that you can hear me all right, because we're going to start right away. How is that sound, by the way? Pretty good? Sounding good? Excellente. All right, we're going to get started. So, what we're going to do now is a bit of housekeeping stuff. As you can see here, we have some important information. What we talk about here is for educational advice. It's education, entertainment, edutainment as I like to call it. There isn't really anything else going on here other than that, so we don't want to get confused. You know, you probably already know this. I don't need to tell you this, but trading is super risky. You can lose all of your account. You can even lose all of your money, and you can get a bill from your broker. That's how risky it is. And you haven't lived until that's happened. And so you should talk to an independent financial advisor. If we talk about anything, we're talking about hypothetical results, and we're not promising or telling you to buy, sell, or trade at all. There's nothing like that going on here. It's all edutainment. And so you might see some hypothetical things, and they're not real, and they don't mean anything. So what we want to do today is I'm going to give you the next minute. So starting now, go scramble and find a piece of paper and a pen or something to scribble on. If you need to, you can prick yourself and write it in blood. What we're going to do here is really important. I'm going to say this again. If you take advantage of the next exercise over the next 3 minutes, it can really help you. If you decide instead to kick back, crack that beer or that kombucha and not really pay attention, that's fine too, but that's your choice, because once I show you this, I can't do it again. It only works the first time you see it, all right? So again, you have about another 30 seconds to go and grab yourself a piece of paper, something to write with, you know, maybe a quill, a crayon, a burnt cigarette. I don't know what you have lying around, and you know, maybe a piece of papyrus if you can scramble one of those up. And you're not going to need to write a lot, but you are going to need to write the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. All right, we got 10 seconds, guys, and we're going to start. As in, we're going to do the exercise. This is probably the critical part of this whole thing. All right. Okay. So I'll give you guys another 5 seconds, and then we're going to go. So if you don't have something to write down, you're going to miss out, friends. I hate to say it, but this is your chance. This is it. This is what we're here for. This is what will enable you to identify if you got something going on in your head that we need to talk about here today, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the muscle between your ears. We're talking about the most important aspect of your trading. We're talking about you. All right, let's roll. Again, I'm not trying to be a weirdo, or I'm not trying to be pedantic. I'm just saying, look, we're going to do an exercise. It's pretty powerful. If you take advantage of it right now, you're going to really have something that you can work with after this. If you don't, then there's no promises, basically. Okay? All right, cool. All righty. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about mental barriers. So when we talk about trading, we've talked about all the aspects of trading. We've talked about your trading system, which is the guitar. So you have a really nice guitar, it can sound good. If you have a pretty old, crappy guitar and it's not tuned up, it may not sound very good. The guitar player is you. That's what we're going to talk about right now. You're the executor of the guitar. You're the one who plays it. The system is the guitar. The musician is you. You're the trader. You're the one that executes what we're supposed to execute in our trading trading scheme, in our rules. The amplifier is the risk. So the risk rules that you use can amplify the results that you get, just like an amplifier or a sound system can amplify the music that the musician makes, creates, plays on the guitar. Okay? So mental barriers are those things that stop us from achieving what we want. You and I and everyone here has a program, several programs indeed, working in your head. These programs in your head, they're not here to hold you back. They're not here to make you sad. They're not here to make you poor. But what they do is those programs in your head, in your subconscious mind, they will move you where they think it is best for you. So depending on what the program, the goal of the program is, your subconscious will do everything in its power to get you to the point where it thinks you are most comfortable, where the point is where you want to be. And so uncovering what these programs are is a very powerful process. And these mental barriers that come up in trading, they come up in many different ways. In fact, I can show you a couple. So we have a lot of psychology courses at Naked Forex now. And the reason why I bring them up is because you can get some of them in the forum. So you'll probably see the link there to the forum. If you do join the forum, it's a monthly membership. We do sometimes offer annual, but typically it's a monthly membership, and you can get in right now for 50% off. And what happens is at the bottom here, you can find your courses. So this course is about patterns. Where do your mental patterns come from, and what are they doing for your trading? So that's called You Get What You Trade For. That's in there. We do have some psychological exercises in the personal trading program. And then we also have Subconscious Profits, which is right here. These are methods and techniques for reprogramming your subconscious, which is what we're going to get into in just a moment. And then we have Next Level Trading. This is about the lifespan of a trader, what you go through. So at each stage of your development as a trader, you run up against a challenge, and there's a typical response to that challenge, which unfortunately isn't going to get you to the next level. And then there is the solution to that challenge which will get you to the next level. And so that course is all about identifying what those are. Trades People Play is the one I just showed you. That one's actually inside the forum. Oh, sorry. That one's not in the forum. You Get What You Trade For is in the forum. Trades People Play is a course about cognitive biases. If you've ever looked up cognitive biases, you can do that after this or whatever. But things like hindsight bias, status quo bias, those are pretty popular. Confirmation bias, all those biases, all of them. There's a lot. We talk about those in this course and what the solution is for each of them. What's the antidote? And then there are some other elements here. Like in this course, there's a really good module on resilience. Same thing in our Profit Accelerator. There's a lot of stuff in there on psychology and resilience as well. Because I think that's one of the most important things that traders need is resilience, the ability to bounce back after losing streaks. So there are a lot of things that impact our trading, and I'm going to give you a quick test here. Actually, let's zip through that one. We're not going to do that one. We're going to do this one here. Okay. I'm going to skip through all this stuff. This is from a presentation I've done in the past. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. This is the one I want to share with you because this is really powerful. I want you to close your eyes now. You've got your piece of paper and your pen or pencil or quill in front of you. Pricked finger. And what you're going to do is just close your eyes right now. I'm not going to share anything with you exciting. Nothing going on the screen, so you're not going to miss anything. In fact, when you open your eyes up, you're going to see this screen again. Okay? So there's nothing that you're going to miss. Nothing going on here. Please close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Hold it for 4 beats. Blow out for 8. Take another deep breath very slowly. Breathe in for a 7 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blow out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine that you are walking down the street and you've decided to pull up your ATM card. You're pulling out your bank card, one of your bank cards. You have many. You pull that out of your wallet as you walk up to an ATM. And when you get to that ATM, I want you to imagine that you put that ATM card into the bank ATM. You type in your secret code. And then you click on the balance button. You know, what is my balance? Your balance inquiry. What does it say? And when you push that button, you see $99,864,731.94. What did you just hear in your mind when I said that? Write down the thoughts that you had when I said that. Whatever came to mind, the very first thing. The most important thing is not what you're thinking now, but what you were thinking when I said that. What was it that you heard in your inner voice? What was it that you heard in your mind when you heard that? What was it? Those thoughts that you're writing down right now, it's probably only 2 or 3 of them, those thoughts are critically important because what you've just done is you've had a glimpse into your subconscious. You now know what your subconscious thinks about you and your ability to have a bank account with $99,864,731.94. You know that. You know that right now. Because we did this little imagination, this little guided imagery thing where you walk down the street with your bank card, you go to the ATM, you pop it in, you type your PIN code, and then you look at your balance, and your balance is that. Guess what? You have a very powerful piece of information that can tell you a lot about where you are right now. In other words, normally we don't get these glimpses. We have a glimpse right now into what your subconscious thinks about your ability to pull profits, to make money. Do you deserve the money? Do you deserve to have that? Are you the type of person that wants that? All of this is now at your fingertips. So if you wrote down things like, that would never happen for me, that's unrealistic, that seems like pie in the sky, that's crazy, I would never have that much, who in their right mind would have an account like that? Whatever those thoughts are that you had, that's telling you what your program is. You know what your program is. You have a program regarding money. You have several. And that program regarding money was just bubbling up to the surface, just for a fraction of a second. You had a glimpse at that, which is cool because you normally don't get that. So what does that tell you? That tells you that if those thoughts that come up were ones that you don't like and you don't think are conducive to what you believe your goals are, then what that means is you have a disconnect. You have a disconnect between what your subconscious program is and what your conscious mindset is, okay? So your subconscious program is what we just had a glimpse at, okay? What you think about having a big pile of money like that, and then what your conscious mindset or your conscious goals are. You might have, for example, you might have conscious goals of making 100 million over the next 10 years, right? However you would like to do that. But your conscious goals are not matching up with your subconscious programming. If there's a friction there, if you hear things like that's unrealistic, that would never happen, how would I ever be able to achieve that, blah, 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 okay? So now what we're going to talk about are some of the ways that you can reprogram your mindset and some of the ways that you can become aware of them. So one of the more popular ones, which I find useful, is to do trading journals. But these trading journals are a little bit different. So we have the trading journals that show you the mechanics of trading. And, I took a big shadow on the euro yen. I sold it here. My stop loss was here. I had a target here and I had a trailing exit. And then I felt like it was good to take it during the London session because the market was moving, blah, 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 right? So that's a trading journal of the mechanics of trading. What I'm talking about is more of an emotional journal. This is about your thoughts. This is about what you think about life. This is about how you feel about your trading, how you feel about yourself, how other things are impacting you. How many of you people here have had someone in your life that impacts your trading? I raised my hand. Someone who you know, based on their thoughts about trading, they're impacting you. Whether you admit it or not, what they think about your abilities or some people think it's crazy to get into this stuff. Why would you do that? Just go get a job. Go work at a library, mate. Go do that. You don't need to do this trading thing. So if you have a significant other or a friend or a parent or someone who doesn't think it's a good idea to trade, they're impacting you, okay? That's the kind of stuff that you would write about in your trading journal. The reason why you do this is because you'll, well, again, this is in the course we talked about here. Let me share it with you. Where is this course? You Get What You Trade For course. I'm trying to find it. Here it is. There it is. The You Get What You Trade For course. Right here. This course right here. This one is in the forum. It's in the courses in the forum here. And we talk about how to uncover your patterns. So a part of that is being aware of what your feelings are and when they come up. Okay? So, for example, you might find that when you go home to your parents' house or whatever to do some trading, and you're doing trading at your parents' house, it's really difficult. But when you go back to your home, it's a lot easier. Or you might find that after you talk to your rich uncle, you see a rich uncle over Thanksgiving or New Year's or whatever, and you chat with him, then when you go home, you start really doing well with your trading, right? But when you go talk to your friend Larry at the pub, who is chronically in debt, the more you hang out with him, the worse your trading gets. So it could be that the people that you surround yourself with impact your abilities, right? Or you may find that you're just poor at executing your strategy when certain things come up in your life and impact you. So there are a lot of different ways that others will or others can possibly impact you. There are many different ways where that can happen. But writing it down is going to help. Another thing that's going to help is hypnosis. Now, many of you may not know this, but I've written a hypnosis track. So hypnosis is just a way that you can first of all, if you've ever been hypnotized, you know this, but I've hypnotized people before. I've done this, been doing it since the early 90s. And hypnosis is something, so what is that, like 30 years or something? I guess, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. More than 30 years I've been doing hypnosis. Anyway, there's a hypnosis track that I developed, and you can buy it. It's really cheap. You can get it from me, or you can get it from the company that I worked with. So they do really good work, which is why I sought them out. But there is a group here in... where the heck is the... Here it is. Hypnosis for Forex Traders. It's this one right here. I'll put the link. I can give you guys a link for this, but basically it's the company that did it. I can actually share with you the company that did it. They're really good at hypnosis tracks. They're called Hypnosis Downloads. So you can get it from them, or it's cheaper if you get it from me. It's the same thing. Basically, we work together on the script. So in Hypnosis Downloads, it's the same one as, let's see. I think they call it currency trading. I think they called it currency trading, actually. Yeah, currency trading mindset. So this is the one that we developed together. Because they had one for traders, and it wasn't very good. I said, look, this is kind of messing me up, man. It's programming me to do the wrong things. I need... Ah, there you go. Vasilis. Vasilis likes it. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's what this is. And I can give you guys the link for this if you're interested. So yeah, and in the hypnosis course, I talk about, there's another video about hypnosis in general and sort of thing. So, and then in the forum, which again, if you're not in the forum, I think most of you are, but if you're not in the forum, you can go and get some hypnosis tracks from the You Get What You Trade For course. We actually have some in there as well. Those are different tracks. Those are more generic, like goal setting tracks. But so hypnosis is one way that you can overwrite your subconscious programming. You will become aware of your patterns when you journal. You'll be able to overwrite them with hypnosis. And there's another one that's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of ways to do this. Did you know that when they run functional MRIs, which is when they in real time, it's a brain scan, right? So they'll hook you up to a functional MRI. One of my professors when I was in graduate school, she was actually working with functional MRI, which is really expensive and really hard to do back in the late 90s or whatever. But now it's a little bit different. But one of the fascinating things about these studies with functional MRI is the technician who watches your brain light up, when they present you with questions in an experiment and they have you hooked up to a functional MRI so they see where your brain lights up, the technician can know what your decision is in the experiment up to 10 seconds before you say it. In other words, what we normally do in our lives is we have our brain that shows us something, helps us to believe something or feel something, and then later on we come up with the words to justify it. Let me state that another way because it's a really important concept. It appears as though we run our lives mostly on autopilot and we just come up with BS reasons why we do the things we do. Crazy, right? So, in other words, the subconscious program is the king or the queen of you. You may come up with reasons why you did this or why you did that. All those reasons are really nice and they make a lot of sense to the logical side of the brain. But the reality is that we're running on autopilot. If you've ever driven home from work or from someone's house for the 700th time, you know what that feels like, right? You're just on autopilot. You're not even thinking about it. The next thing you know, you're home. Well, that happens in our lives with what we decide to do. And so the important thing to note is that you could have a really, really good trading system. You may have back-tested the living crap out of it and you know it's a good one. And you've got your risk nailed down. You've run through your spreadsheets. You've used the risk calculator that we talked about in the risk section, right? You remember the risk calculator? You can get that. Go over to fxjake.com/risk, and you can use the risk calculator if you're using fixed fractional risk. You can use that. Or maybe you're using Profit Bricks and you've run through the Profit Bricks spreadsheets and all that stuff. Or fixed ratio. You've run through those ones as well. Fixed ratio course is also in the forum, so that's down here at the bottom. It's this one. Risk Management Forex, that's all about fixed ratio. So that's a different approach than fixed fractional. Very different to the risking 1%, 2%. You've done all that, but guess what? You're not making money because you are not executing your strategy as you can. As a trader, you can't control the random distribution of wins and losses and break-even trades for that matter, but you can control whether or not you execute your strategy as you should. I'm in a trade right now that I am not executing correctly. I'll show you. It's not a naked trade, but I'll show you. This trade here on the 6 hour. It's the Euro Aussie. And I did not execute the trade correctly. I can come up with a bunch of BS reasons why I did not, but the reality is I did not. So with these trades, like most trades, I have a split exit. With most of my trades, I like to have a target and then a trailing exit. So if it goes, my trailing exit makes hopefully a lot of money. And if it doesn't really go, hopefully at least my target is hit. Okay? Okay, as soon as this loads, we'll get the stinking thing up here. So here it is. This is the trade. It was a buy here at 64.67. It's actually this candle right here. Okay? 1.6467. on this candle right there. And my target was, so I got in the trade, it went up, and then it came back down, almost stopped me out. Look at that. 63.50 is my stop loss. It went as low as 63.61. It came within, 10 pips of my stop. Okay. Then it comes up here and hits my target at 66. What's the high here? Nope. Sorry, it's not that one. Oh, it's not that one either. It's actually this candle. 66 is right here. It went up to 66.22. So we got hit right here on the green line. Okay. It cashes out. That's my target. So I got a little bit better than 1-to-1, right? And then, yeah, quite a bit better. Okay. And then the trailing exit is when I get 2 closes below this red line. So that's 1, 2. I should have been out there. So this one should have closed at 66.07. So a little bit better, but it didn't, right? So I did not get out here and here as I should have. And it's because I missed it, basically. I missed that it happened. And by the time I got to the charts, we were already back on the other side. So I decided to ride it out. And again, I missed these 2 closes below, this close here and this close. So normally my trailing exit, I'd be getting out here on the second close below there, but I didn't. So I'm still riding it now. So I'm still taking this trade that I shouldn't even be in right now. I'm not executing it according to the rules. And normally this is a really bad thing. I'm going to make up a BS reason and say, well, I'm not doing that because I didn't see it. By the time I went and checked the charts in the morning, I noticed that, it had already given the trailing exit, and I didn't automate it. I actually do have an automated exit for this, but I didn't in this case, which would have got me out of it automatically with the second close. So it's important to note that you can have everything right, you can have everything set up, but if you don't execute your strategy, you're not going to do well. And one of the reasons why you might not execute your strategy is you don't feel like you are worthy of money. So if you grew up with a mother or a father that said, hey, money doesn't grow on trees, what do you think I am, made of money? These things accumulate over time, and you get this idea that money is this really difficult thing, and it's a source of stress, and you have to work really hard to make it, when in reality, it's not funny, but it is funny. In reality, money is literally created from thin air. It really is. Money is debt, right? And the debt is literally created from thin air. And if your kids grow up, ask your kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a moneymaker. I want to work at a federal bank, a central bank. Oh, okay. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but you do understand, right? The money is literally created from thin air. And not only that, when the money is given to the banks, right, or loaned to the banks as they do, the banks will then go out and loan that money 10 times. It's the same pile of money, but they go out and they use it in 10 different ways. And that's how they make money, right? The rehypothecation, that's what that's called. So the reality is money shouldn't be a source of stress when it literally comes out of thin air. It's created out of nothing. It's probably more, I would argue, money is more you can replenish money more easily than you can water. And certainly food, right? Ask someone who lives in a really hard part of the world how easy it is for them to replenish their food supply or their water supply. Whereas money, they create it out of thin air. So there is no reason to have that, but we will have those based on what we've existed through, in our lives. So let's talk about another way. We talked about journaling. We talked about hypnosis. Look, I mean, in the course, the Subconscious Profits course, there's a whole lot in there about, where is it? There's actually a whole lot in the Subconscious Profits course about the tools that you can use, and I'll show you. But one of the ones that I think is really useful is to actually do this. So this is what you do. So as you're falling asleep, this works in the hypnagogic state. So, and actually a lot of inventors such as Benjamin Franklin, a lot of people have used this in various methods to get at this tool. But what you do is, as you're falling asleep, what you want to do is make a tight fist. So as you're lying in bed and you're falling asleep. By the way, I'll give another random hint here, or random thing that you may or may not know. Did you know that if you lie on your left side when you go to sleep, that it's harder for you to have, like, if you have any like acid reflux or whatever, like stomach stuff, it's actually more difficult for you to have those issues if you fall asleep on your left, like if you're on your left side, than if you're on your right side or on your back. Just something to note anyway. But as you're falling asleep, what you do is you make a fist. And this, again, like I said, this is in the Naked Forex, in the Subconscious Profits course. And it's this one right here. This course right here. We've got a whole bunch of ways that you can change your subconscious programming. But you make a fist as you're falling asleep, hold that fist really tight, and then what you do is you hold it tight, and as you realize that you're relaxing, and as you notice that that fist is becoming looser and more relaxed, you keep telling yourself what you want to do. So for inventors, they would use this when they got stuck, and they were stuck with a problem in their work, in their inventions. They would say, I need a solution to, like, what sort of filament do I need to create the light bulb, right? What's the best filament for my light bulb, sort of thing? Or, how am I going to solve this problem in your trading or whatever it is? So what you do is, as you're falling asleep, you hold the fist. The reason why you make a tight fist is because you want to realize when you're falling asleep. You'll know you're falling asleep when you let go of the fist and you feel it loosening. Benjamin Franklin did this by holding a cannonball. And so he held onto a cannonball, and he would lean back in his chair on two legs, and he would hold on to the cannonball. And when he dropped the cannonball, because he was losing, he was basically falling asleep, going into what's called the hypnagogic state. He would drop the cannonball, it would slam against the floor, and it would wake him up. And then he would write down whatever the first thought was when he came to. Right? But you can also use this so that your brain, if you've ever had this where you're thinking of something, you're trying to come up with a solution, and then you fall asleep, you wake up the next morning, and boom, you've instantly got the solution. That's what this is. So what you do is you make the fist, and you tell yourself in a active voice, you tell yourself a statement. Okay? Let's say, that my issue is I'm scared of losses. Okay, so I fear losses. I fear taking a trade and it ends up losing me money. All right, that's my big fear. So, so what I do is I'm going to write a statement that I can repeat to myself as I'm falling asleep. In this case, it could be something like, I take every trade knowing the odds are in my favor over the long haul. That didn't quite make it. I take every trade knowing the odds are in my favor over the long haul. Okay? So what I'm saying is that I know, based on my testing, that I'm going to make money over the long haul. But the next trade may, in fact, be a loser. So that's okay. So I take every trade knowing the odds are in my favor over the long haul. Okay? So it's important that you don't phrase it in a way that you are going to start doing something. Okay? So notice I didn't say, I will take every trade knowing my odds are in my favor over the long haul. I didn't say that. Because to your subconscious, it's very literal. Your subconscious will think that you will start doing this at some point in the future. That's not what I want. I want to do it now, right? So I make a fist. I start repeating this. I take every trade knowing the odds are in my favor over the long haul. I take every trade knowing my odds are in my favor over the long haul. So what I'm saying is I'm no longer placing any emphasis on individual trades, but instead I'm looking at the big picture. And if you know anything about risk IQ, the interesting thing about people with really high risk IQ, in other words, like professional gamblers and people like that, or I would argue traders, we know that a slight edge is all you need to exploit something and make money over the long haul. If you imagine yourself as immortal and living forever, you can see where that slight edge would make you a lot of money. So what you're trying to do is just exploit that slight edge over and over and over and over again. And that's why we run our expectancies, right? We're trying to figure out what is the expectancy for my trading system. Did we do that? I think we did. I have a sneaking feeling like we didn't run those expectancy formulas. But anyway, the point is, there is one on the, we have a spreadsheet with one. But anyway, the point is, you can see how it works. Expectancy is simply, you do this, right? You go, okay, my average, it's like this. Average win times win rate, and then you add the average loss times the loss rate, okay? And that's going to give you, so if I win 50% of the time and my average win is $1,000, that's $1,000 there, and then I add my average loss is $500, and my loss rate is 50% of the time, I do that there, right? So that's how that works. So 1,000 times 50, so over 100 trades, I make $50,000 with my winners, and then over 100 trades, I lose $25,000 with my losers, right? And so that's saying that I expect for every 100 trades, I expect to make about $25,000, roughly, right? That's what your expectancy formula is, and you can make a spreadsheet based on what I've just given you. But the idea here is that if you have a really have a really high risk IQ, you think of yourself as almost having so many chances, so many thousands of opportunities to trade, millions perhaps, over your lifetime. So what that means is you just need a slight edge, and if you see that slight edge, you'll exploit it. Just like the casinos. Remember, the casinos, even the slot machines, which are notoriously poor choices, right? All of the games in the casino have a negative expectancy for you and a positive expectancy for the casino, right? That's why the casino has the big bright lights, and they got David Copperfield running the magic program, right? That's why they pay for all those people, all those lights, all them buffets, all that wine and liquor and all that stuff, all those employees. That's because they have the expectancy, they have the edge, and we don't. So the losers go in there and give more money to the casinos. Well, here's the thing: as a trader, you are the casino. This is one of the things we talk about in the hypnosis track. You are the casino, and so as the casino, all you need to do is exploit it over the long haul. That's it. That's the game. The game is doing it over and over and over again, knowing that the more trades you take over time, as long as you're doing it correctly, the more likely you come out on top. Now, if you take 3 trades, you might have 3 losers. But if you take 3,000 trades and you execute them correctly or close to correctly, and you have an edge, then you will make money, right? That's the difference. The only way you lose money after 3,000 trades is if you don't execute them correctly, or you had a negative expectancy to begin with. That's the only way that happens, right? So making a fist and falling asleep and repeating your mantra, which is in active voice and speaking directly to the now, right? I take every trade. I didn't say I will take every trade. I take every trade knowing the odds are in my favor over the long haul. In other words, I'm no longer focusing on trade by trade, but I'm looking at the long haul. I'm looking at the next 100 trades. Don't even talk to me until I get 100 trades. Then I will look at what my statistics tell me. Yeah, making sense? Cool. What else? I think that's it, friends. Yeah, I'll send an email out. If you're on the email list, if you went to FX Jake or Naked Forex Now and put your email in, then you will get an email with all the links to all the sessions, okay? All right, cool. Any other questions? Yes, there's a recording. We'll send it out to you. Which time frame is best? It depends on how much time you have to trade. So we were just talking about this with one of my traders in the coaching program. Essentially, it depends on what he said. He has 3 hours a day. He's got 3 hours a day to trade. So if you've got 3 hours a day to trade, I would definitely be trading a higher time frame, like the 8 hour or the 12 hour or the daily. You can maybe get away with a 6 hour if you had like an hour and a half in the morning and an hour and a half at night or something like that, where you could, you could catch the 6 hour, but certainly you could do the 8 hour, the 12 hour, the daily, the 2-day, the 48 hour charts, the weekly, the daily, all those would work. Hey, is that Jurgis? Hey, Jurgis, what's happening? I didn't know you were here. Thanks for sending that through. I didn't even see you. That's awesome. Great to see you, Jurgis. Hey, this is a good time actually for Europe, isn't it? I wanted to make sure that our sixth and final one was good for people in Europe, so I'm glad that you guys were able to attend. Unfortunately, for those in like Canada and the U.S., they're going to be sleeping right now because it's like, what is it, 5:43 in the morning in New York right now? Something like that. Yeah. Good to see you, Jurgis. Great to see you here. Yeah, so I think that's about all we want to talk about, I think, guys. I don't know. Do you guys have any other questions? So your subconscious program is how you relate to money. It's also going to impact your execution. The execution is the only thing that you're supposed to do as a trader. You're supposed to execute your rules. You've already back tested them. You've already tweaked your entries and your exits. We talked about those in workshops 1 and 2. We talked about risk and how important that is. And we talked about how to use losing traders to bump up your odds. And so now we're talking about reprogramming. There are a lot of different ways to do that. Yeah, Jurgis? Yeah, totally. Is there any discount? Yeah, there is. You can... here's the link. If you want, you can... Jurgis, you can email me. I can give you an annual. I don't know if you want like a big discount, like an annual, but if you want, you can get in the. Here, I'll send it out right here. Here you go. Right here. So that is the link, guys, to the. I put that link in there for those that are interested in checking out the forum. Great to see you, Jurgis. Yeah, so that's it. You can journal to see what patterns are coming up. Again, that's in the You Get What You Trade For course. If you have cognitive biases that you keep running up against and you note those in your journal, then the Trades People Play course is really good for that. If you want to reprogram, you can use hypnosis, which is one of those things we talked about. Right here. So these are the ones. This is patterns in your life, how to overcome those. And that course is in the forum. This is a really cheap course. I know it's like $10 or something. That's the hypnosis, right? We also have a brainwave roadmap. That's about how to switch your brain into the right channel for different aspects of trading. This is about reprogramming your subconscious, really powerful. This has an element of resilience in it, resilience training, as does this course right here, Profit Accelerator. But this course is only for our members in the coaching program. And then this one's about the different aspects of, like, at each stage in trading, we go through a certain challenge. So, for example, in the beginning, it's about choosing a strategy, and everything we think about in the beginning is about the entry rules, how important the entry is, right? That's the big challenge, figuring out how do we enter into a trade. Tradespeople play, hindsight bias, confirmation bias, status quo bias, all these biases that impact your trading, these cognitive biases. How do you overcome each of those? How do you make trading fun so that the way that you trade is the exact right way for each individual trade? That's what this course is about. It's a really good one, actually. Yeah, so that's where I would say those are the main ones. There is some elements of psychological exercises in the personal training program as well. Yeah. There's books too. So yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get too bogged down on this. Yeah. Cool. Jurgis says tradespeople play is strongly recommended. It really is a good course. It's so good. I mean, I hate to say it. You know, the way that course came about is we had a group of traders that we met with in a workshop in Birmingham, and one in Sydney, one in Melbourne, and one in San Diego. And what we did in those workshops is we talked about each of the cognitive biases, how that impacts us, and everyone, you know, it was like a little workshop, little group of traders, and then from out of that came this course, basically. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. I really appreciate your time. I thank you for spending time here with us today. I wish you very happy trading. If you missed any of the other workshops, I hope that you get the email. I'll send that out. It'll have links to all of those sessions if you missed them, and you can catch them in the email. Just click on them and go through them. And I hope it helps. I really do. I hope you have a wonderful new year. I wish you happy trading, and we'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Have a great week. Bye. See ya. Bye. See ya, Jurgis. See ya, Carl. Thanks, Maria. Thank you. Bye, Charles. All right, Andy. Bye. Bye, David. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Bye.